While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Mornin Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet.
You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get her? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Mornin Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystons Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why? I need.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystons Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why? I need.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business. And
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good
Good morning to you on this Monday, May 27th. So good to have you in company on this fantastic day. Beautiful outside, nice crisp air. It wasn't too warm this morning when I came in, and I certainly hope that we have a little bit of cloud cover today to make sure we don't get all the heat that we've been getting. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. And boy, do we have a show planned for you on this fantastic Monday. I'm sure you had a good weekend. I sure did. I'll share bits and bobs of what I did as we go through the morning. And we hope that you can stick around for most of the show. A special good morning to the little ones taking the CSEC exams and CAPE exams. I know that can be very, very difficult. So make sure you stay focused, but don't go over the top, because for some of you, I know it can be quite a challenge. And parents, back off. Some of you are just a little too hard on the little ones. Some might need a little push. I know how that goes. I have my share in my own home, but you know, you have to give them a little chance every now and then to rest and relax and so on, so that they don't go over the top. All right, so coming up today, we're going to look at World Hunger Day. Kimar Safri is going to be in to talk a little bit about that. Shane Seeley, the Corporate Communications Officer at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, he will be in as we look at eye care. That's in focus for today as well. And we're also going to be telling you about a host of other things that will be happening all across the island. Very, very interesting. I'll update you as we go on. But we've been telling you about Gospel Fest and all the amazing things they've been doing to switch it up in 2024. Today is no different, so we welcome back Adrian Agard, who is the executive producer, and Lester Welch, the artistic director of Gospel Fest. Good morning, gentlemen.
Very pleasant morning to you.
Good to have both of you with us. Good to see you, Lester.
Well, it's really good to see you. Really good
but
to see
you.
I realize.
Yeah, I've not seen you in a long,
how
long time.
excited you got about seeing Lester. It's all right.
Don't worry, Adrian. Maybe one of these days.
It's okay.
But
I'm not like that.
No, it was last week. I was equally excited. I said, "Hey, Adrian, I haven't seen you in a long time."
Seen me for a long time, so I'm not getting it. Yeah.
All right, so Gospel Fest started just a day.
Yeah, we actually had an event on Saturday also. We had some engagement over issues relating to HIV/AIDS, and of our guests we have here, Reverend Dr. Mikey Roberts and Gracia Ross was able to share with pastors and leaders, and that was on Saturday at Sky Mall. And yesterday we had this fantastic launch of the festival in terms of our Thanksgiving and worship service at Mount Olive United Holy Church of America. And that was a wonderful experience for us. And so we're into the week with the lecture this evening is at Calvary Moravian Church. This lady, I think she was been on with you all morning a few days ago. Gracia Ross will present this lecture. She's living with HIV/AIDS, and we look forward to what she's going to present, share from her experience. And that starts at 7 o'clock at Calvary Moravian.
I'm so proud of what Gospel Fest has kind of morphed into. Initially, a lot of people looked at it as just kind of like a music festival, just singing music and what have you. And now it's kind of extended into so much more. Why do you decide to take Gospel Fest as a team in this direction?
Well, we live in Barbados, and we have to respond to the environment where we live, the experiences people have. We recognize that over the last many years, we've seen this matter of suicides coming up, and when we had the chance to engage with the World Council of Churches and Gracia over her experience, we came up with this theme of campaign. I thought we wanted to look at that. The festival also has the opportunity, because it brings people together, to focus the community, whether that's the leaders in the church or the laity, people who actually attend congregations, an opportunity to focus them on certain areas. So, for instance, this year we're engaging with YWAM, Youth with a Mission, as well as ISCF, ministries within schools. And if we can get our young people with their attention focused in that direction, we think it helps the community. So if we just are just about music, yeah, we enjoy the events. It's really great, the participation, but we also live. And that's something that I think people need to understand, that Christian people actually live in Barbados.
I think it's also a part of our vision of touching lives and changing nations. Yeah. So however way we can do that, not only in singing, But in social issues, that's what we're aiming to do.
And Lester, I know as creative director, a lot of the times people come with grand ideas, and it's up to you, the creative mind, to be able to bring it to life on stage. I saw how your face lit up when I said that, because this must be a true passion of yours to be able to work in this area.
It is. I enjoy working with people and their creative sides. I'm the one who get to hear the music and to see the drama. And some of it is not all that good. But as we were saying in the meeting, you know, those who get the opportunity to come, you know, just see it as that opportunity among many. Because every year we get a whole influx of people who want to be on the stage on Barbados Gospel Fest. It's my responsibility then now to see, we use analogy all the time, how do you want the food to taste? And based on that analogy, we put things in, we put arts in, we put singing in, we put drama in, because at the end of the day, that's the presentation we want to have at Barbados Gospel Fest. So we have a whole lot of people who come with different arts, different things that they do and present it to us. And there are a whole lot of people that we also have to say we can't do it this year, perhaps next year. You know, so it is really not a challenge, but a joy of mine to put that side of Barbados Gospel Fest together so that people see the best of the Caribbean.
All right, let's talk a little bit more in depth about what's coming up and kind of break them down one by one. I was very impressed when we spoke with Gracia on Friday, I believe it was, about what she was bringing to the table with that particular discussion. And I thought it was truly out of the box, so to speak, for Gospel Fest, to be able to kind of engage in this discussion at a time where a lot of people have kind of reeled it in a little bit when it comes to HIV, AIDS. It's still very, very, a very relevant discussion, but there are not many people having that discussion. I thought that was very, very important.
Yeah, well, and as we go through the things that we will encounter and we want to focus on, we want to be able to strengthen our community. We enjoy living here. We want to make it better, see people improve their lives. And anything that we can do to enhance that, we'll do. When we look at the actual events, the activities come up, we go from that to him speak on Tuesday evening. Then there's Legacy on the Bay on
you want to talk about that a little bit? It's a free event, so we want people to come out. It's in a different venue. It's at Savvy on the Bay, which is on Bay Street. Some people are skeptical about the venue. But we want people to come out on Wednesday to this free event. What we're going to be doing in that event is paying tribute to Promise, Sister Marshall, Joseph Niles. So people can feel free to come out and enjoy the space, and they also enjoy the music.
I love that.
And then we go back there. And we go back there for Laughter and Jazz. Laughter and Jazz, when we started it many years ago, was at Davy South Winds. On the lawn. It actually started in the bar area, and it grew to the end, was outdoor on the lawn. Subsequently, 2022, we were at Hilton, 2023 at LESC. We got this venue, and people here, okay, we are going to Savvy on the Bay. What's that? And the thing is that people have not experienced the venue. So people are talking about sand. I don't want to go on the sand. There are paved areas, there are grassed areas, and it's the most amazing venue. Almost like he is the person who helped discover that venue for us. And at the back of, so we are on the grass area,
on the lawn area,
where you're seeing this amazing stage. But now behind that is this huge tent from which you can also see the stage. So I see it like the best of both worlds, really, where you can be outdoors, but even if you have a situation, even if you have a situation where you have to, there's a shower, which used to happen very often. There's that huge tent. But you know, the amazing thing they did, even after you've engaged them, I remember we got a call from one of the managers there and said, you need to come and see this deck. Just beyond the tent now is this expansive deck. When it's lighted at night, it's amazing.
Wow.
And then the engagement that they've had with us over the food, the preparation. When you look at what they prepared, the menu they prepared for the night is amazing. So we are encouraging people to come and discover Savvy on the Bay. That particular section of it, you know, the food court section. But this area where events are held, it's just absolutely amazing.
Next time any Bajan says, I don't want to be on the stand, says, shame on you. This is what we're selling to the world.
So where we are going to be, the stand is where it's supposed to be. But here we are at Savvy on the Bay. you're not in the sandy area at all. They've done a fantastic job in terms of the venue. People need to come and experience it. Oh, and I want to talk about getting there. We want to thank the Roman Catholic Church, just across the street. Parking is there for those early birds. You get there early, you get to take advantage of that parking. But never mind, if you don't get there early, we have parking also on the playing field next to the QEH, which is the QEH Sports Club playing field, where we have lighting and security. And it's just $5 per person round trip to do that. And so it's easy to get to the venue, to park safely, and to come back. And we're really excited about this venue and about this event.
All right, good stuff. You don't have to worry about, if you don't have to worry about parking when you're going to an event, that's half the battle.
That's
half the battle. You go back the next night for laughter and jazz.
Right. So that's the night, that's laughter and jazz.
The night before is the free night.
Yes.
Where
So,
the Legacy on the Bay.
right, and that's Friday we were talking about, where we talk about laughter and jazz. That's where the facilities there for the parking and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, and then of course you're doing workshops as well.
Yes,
for
the
artists.
Signal Globe Artist Development Workshop.
And that's free. And we really want artists and people who are interested in music, whatever aspect. I think this is a very important part that people need to come out and get sound information to help you in the business of gospel, of singing, music. Sometimes we just look at the side where people just sing and perform, but there's another side, it's a business. So we have asked some persons to come in. I think Shane Forrester is one of the persons that come in.
Sure.
Yes. And Andrea Daniel is the facilitator. So we want people to come. It's a free event. It's going to be at Sky Mall Conference Center. It starts at 8:30. Come out and get all the information. It's usually a very, very, very fantastic event.
Ultimate Gospel is on June 1st.
Oh, I got to go for that one. I got to go for that one. It's called Taste of the Caribbean.
All right.
What we're doing this year, we're having the Taste of the Caribbean in music on the inside. So we have people from St. Vincent, Barbados, Tobago, Bahamas,
Marvia
Providence is going to be a headliner. You cannot afford to miss this event. We were in some of the rehearsals last week, and Adrian was stunned. But then what we also doing this year, something completely new. We're going also on the outside with a Taste of the Caribbean. So we're having Caribbean cuisine. Barbados, Trinidad, St. Vincent, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana. So we want people to come out. We've seen the menu from the chef. Everything authentic about that island is. If you see the menu, you're not going to believe it. Down to the very drinks that they drink in the country. So we want people to come out to that event. It starts at 6. Doors open at 4:30, and we're going to give you an hour to experience that side of the Caribbean with food, and then we're going to end the event with more.
Some people are going to be experiencing it throughout the event.
Yeah. So that's a really, the culinary side is something that we're doing for the first time, and I think that people are going to enjoy that.
Wow, it sounds to me like you truly are expanding, and then you're well known for One Awesome Day, which is usually on the hill.
Courts, One Awesome Day.
Yes.
At Farley Hill National Park is an experience you don't want to miss. And I want to say also to people, because what we've thought of, we did a lot of work in preparing for this. We thank the Transport Board for being able to provide the transport there for those who are not driving. So you can catch the bus from Fairchild Street or Princess Alice. If you are coming from St. Peter area, the north, you can take the Bashable bus, the direct route. Now, when you get there, those who are driving, parking is on Wetchtown Plantation, which is north of Farley Hill. According to the regulations, you can't park on the roadway or the verges, and we have all of the infrastructure and people in place to facilitate you parking safely at Farley Hill also. And then when we get to talk about the event, Lester, should you mention also the fact that we are doing actually a simultaneous event? We do that on the main stage. We do Court's Ultimate Gospel. It features Lima Blaze out of Nigeria, Sammy Midas out of the Bahamas. Promise, the group that we pay tribute to on Wednesday evening, will be on stage at Farley Hill National Park. But in the children's park, it is the Chefette Frosties, Public Workers Co-op Credit Union, Kids Experience. Yes. And that runs concurrently with the main stage. It's a really wonderful family event, and we invite people to come and enjoy Farley Hill. I love to go there each time, and I always encourage people, when you go, don't forget to take the view from the hill. It's a breathtaking
We start at
place.
1 o'clock. sharp.
Wow, that's wonderful. It's great that you do something for the children
Yes.
simultaneously while you're doing it. So box offices quickly.
Well, ticketnation.bb, all those box offices. You can also pick up your tickets at El Bethel Pharmacy, Things Gospel Outlets, Bridgetown and Warrens, CLC, and Joe's Pharmacy in Oistins. You go to the website, www.barbadosgospelfest.com, and you can access your tickets.
All right, make sure you get on out and take in some of Gospel Fest 2024. You're not out of the scope of what's happening, so make sure you head on out. Some other great events are coming up into this week and the weekend. Thank you, gentlemen, for
Thank
coming
you so
in.
very much.
Bring back Lester next
Really
time.
good to see you. Really good to see you.
Next time I'm going to send him on his own. I'm going to ask him to come on his own.
I have no problem with that. It's time for a break. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oistins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Indeed, the time is quickly going by. Can't believe it's 6:30 in the land already. So coming up, May 28th is World Hunger Day, and there's lots planned. There's actually a World Hunger Day project that's going to be happening here in Barbados. Kimar Safri, the president of the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness, is joining us remotely to tell us a little bit more about that. Kimar, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Barbados.
All right. It seems we're going to have to wake you up because you're not quite there as yet, but we certainly are going to try to get you there once you start talking about this initiative. So tell me a little bit about World Hunger Day and how this initiative that you are a big part of came about.
Thanks. World Hunger Day is a world a global event where they look at hunger in several parts of the world. They focus on especially areas of Africa. They focus on programs that look at malnutrition or people getting the dietary need, especially in those countries where it's hard to receive meals, especially in the far countries like Africa and different parts of Africa. But the whole idea is to end hunger. And so we decided to take part in World Hunger Day and provide a feeding here in Barbados that we can reach those that are in need. It's not just about homeless people, but also about persons that are in need due to their challenges that they may face from time to time. So that's the whole gist between behind World Hunger. It's not a homeless event, but it's an initiative to help persons that find themselves in a position of hunger.
So how will it unfold?
So we have several locations based on the feelers that we put out. There's some hotels, there's some businesses that came back and said, yes, I love to be a part of it. And we decided to choose areas that may have issues in terms of hunger and vulnerable persons. And so in those areas, we asked the MPs if they can assist by sending persons that are vulnerable and in need. And we selected just about several areas, and it was based on the involvement of how much persons, or how much restaurants came on board that we were able to provide for. So we have I think it's about several locations, but we also included other organizations that are already feeding on those particular days. And that particular day itself, and then we added more to it and more locations.
Now, you said initially you're hoping to feed around 2,000 people. Talk to us about what this means in real terms, in terms of being able to get the resources, human and otherwise, to pull this off.
It's a lot. Uh, the number may sound small, but we have, let's say we're going into the Golden Rock area in the Queen. We're at Newman Ministry in my large cell, Saints. We have our location in Bridgetown. We're into our Court Village in Bushall. We're still other persons like Salvation Army that is in Reed Street and the Robert Street Moravian. And so that is in Robert Street. So all of these is not easy because you have a different restaurant or different organization going to all of these different locations when you're being able to persons in large numbers. Some locations are carrying 100 mil, some locations are carrying 200 mil, it depends on the needs of the area. And they're bringing their own team, members of their own group, and they're just distributing. And as I said, it's the first time, so we don't have to see how it goes. But we've asked MPs to send persons from the area that is in dire need of at this time.
What did it take to be able to put it on in terms of all of these partners? I see a long list of partners, NGOs, corporate Barbados, hotels, you name it. What did it take to be able to pull this together logistically and otherwise with all these partners?
It wasn't difficult because most of the persons that are in it, they've already fed at the shelter in one way or the other, whether it be through the year or last year. So we've asked them, they said they want to come back. So we just said, okay, if you want to come back, let's spread it out. We get into the community. Just assist some other person. They've all agreed. Our aim was originally 10,000 meals, but we scaled back just to see what goes first, and then we can see going forward what else we need to do. Further, we need to address it, but it's going good so far.
Now, doing your day-to-day job, you experience this every day. You see people from the most vulnerable communities who have to depend on your organization and other similar organizations to do the very basic things in life. Share with our audience, what it really means to these people, the average person who has to do this. And you said in a previous interview that the profile of the people who are coming forward for feeding has changed drastically throughout the years. So talk to us about what it really, what the impact is really like on Barbados, for those people who don't get the idea of how much this is needed.
I think we all go about in our day-to-day, seeing people and judging people. So we see you should looking as good as you are, and we don't see that there are any issues that you may be facing. But you don't need to dress the part of how you look. While we may not be like other countries that suffer in terms of hunger to that extent, we still have a large number of Barbarians that go to sleep hungry, and that is based on employment level. That is based on family disputes. That is based on mental health, homelessness, and so on and so forth. And so I remember joking a while back to the Barbadian community, and I said to them that I believe that they eat better than the average Barbadian, meaning that they're provided for in so much ways because there's so much different feedings. But when they look at it, it wasn't so much of a joke; it was more of a reality that the homeless community has about several feedings a day. There are Barbadians over there that are literally going to sleep hungry. Their children are going to sleep hungry. And I guess because we've gone into a society where we don't really check for the neighbor anymore, or we don't care to check for the neighbor anymore, we haven't seen it by organizations like yours and others out there that are because we do a lot of people call me and ask me, can I get a hamper? They need assistance. A lot of MPs will ask, if they could get a hamper for the people in their area. So the need is there. And so by providing such a program, at least for one day, it is important. We're hoping it's continuous. And we're hoping that people can see that the need is there and they can help and the program can become bigger. But Barbados has a serious need, and I don't think having Pretty Road can hide it, having being a number one developer can hide it. We have our internal issues. We have to deal with it the same way like any other part of the world.
To your mind, what do you think is driving up this need? Not only for people who need a little assistance, whether it's for just to get an everyday meal or for people who are finding themselves homeless. What do you think are the factors that are contributing to this uptick that you're experiencing?
Yeah, well, we're still feeling the effect of COVID, and a lot of persons don't understand that is still there in terms of the unemployment, especially among the young people, the deviant behavior, and that is high the mental health issues, drug-related issues. So some of these issues are causing it, especially when you see homelessness. In the general public, um, the, the COVID effect of not being able to bounce back as strong as you would like to. Some people are bouncing back, but when they do bounce back, they have high bills they have to pay off and debts that were there and related. And so sometimes you gotta give up the bill over the meal or the meal over the bill. So those are some of the contributing factors that I'm seeing when I ask persons, what is going on. You find out some people are working too. It's not managing work and survive. So they do have to exchange one or the other. So these are some of the things, but I do believe that COVID still affects people to today.
All right, so the designated locations around the island tomorrow are Golden Rock Community Center in the Pine, Newman Ministries, Mayor's Road, My Lord's Hill, Oystons in Christchurch, BAEH headquarters, Tirocott Heritage Village, Bush Hall, St. Michael Reed Street, and Roebuck Street. And you're going to be feeding between 2 and 3, except for Golden Rock, which will be serving from 11 to 2 in the afternoon. Yes?
Yes, please.
Your final.
And we just want
Sure, go ahead.
the persons that are in need to come because we do want to reach more people. We can't feed, it's not a feed Barbados campaign per se, but those that are in that need, and we really want to reach those persons. So we encourage persons to just shoot with those in the area that need it. and let them be the one to.
All right, thank you so much, Kimar, for sharing with us. Lots of partners getting on board. They're hoping to feed 2,000 people tomorrow, and there are various organizations that are teaming up with Kimar's organization to make it happen. So congratulations to them. But for the most vulnerable people, make sure you tell them it's a move to try to end world hunger as we observe World Hunger Day tomorrow, May 28th. Stay with us. We have more coming up on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying you can find.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Now, you know we love to connect with Bajans everywhere, and if they're here in Barbados, that's a plus. So joining me this morning is Tula Taylor, who is a Bajan afar, but today you're here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful to have you with us. Now, you were born and you grew up a little bit here in Barbados, but then you moved away at the age of 11. So before we delve into what you are doing now, what you've done in the past, talk to me a little bit about your early years here in Barbados.
Well, I born and raised St. Michael, Halls Road, and I went to Hinesbury. At the age of 11, I had the opportunity to move to Massachusetts, and that's what I did. So I came back for a year and went to Alene School, but yeah, friends, family still lives here, so I'm always down to spend some time with my family.
Can you remember what the transition was like for you?
The transition was very shocking, to say the least, because coming from, I would only see tourists, but I went from a majority to a minority. I lived in a very small town where the population of Black people was me and my father. So it was definitely a transition, but school, everybody was so welcoming, so it made it a lot easier.
All right, how did you determine that you were going to go into the Marine Corps?
I wanted to go into the military, and I initially wanted to go into the Air Force. Air Force recruiter was not there, so the Marine Corps recruiter snagged me up at the age of 17, and I did 20 years. So I retired at 37 for like 3.5 years ago, and started a new career.
Oh, that's beautiful. What was your experience like in the Marine Corps?
With everything, you have its ebbs and flows, but overall, I think it was, because I went in at such a young age, it made me who I am today. I developed really good work ethics, and I look back at my Marine Corps career, and all I can do is smile and be proud of what I did.
Well, can you give us one or two highlights? It certainly is interesting, first of all, to see a lady from the Caribbean, but more specifically, someone who left Barbados at such an early age, go through the Marine Corps to the point where you're here sitting telling me you're retired.
I am retired. Well, I was air traffic controller in the Marine Corps, so very unique opportunity. But I want to say my biggest accomplishment is how many Marines I impacted, how many strong female leaders I developed over the years. So my retirement gift was a big wine barrel, and it said Master Sergeant Tula Mama Bear Taylor, because I always took care of my cubs.
Oh, that's excellent. You've moved into another area now,
Yes.
still working with the Department of Defense. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so now I moved into a Department of Defense contracting for the Navy, and I work as an unmanned specialist for a research and development lab called RESTORE, which stands for, wait for it, Reverse Engineering, Science and Technology for Obsolescence, Restoration, and Evaluation.
What do you do?
So I am the unmanned specialist because of my knowledge of airspace. So I work with I work with quadruped drones, and we're actually looking into surface and subsurface drones. So we're going into the water. So definitely a lot of cutting edge technology at the lab. So that is why I decided to reach out to my aunt at People's Cathedral Primary School, and I'm doing a STEM presentation for them tomorrow for the kids.
What does working in STEM mean for you? Because a lot of the times when we talk to our children, we don't automatically go to these places, if only because we don't necessarily, have an experience as the U.S. would or other larger first world nations.
Yes.
With defense and security.
Yes.
So automatically, was there an interest in science and technology, electronics, mathematics, from you that you were able to move into this specific area in air traffic controlling in the Navy?
So when I was little, I mean like 5, 6, I always wanted to be a pilot or a flight attendant. So I always had the ambition to do something within airspace, aeronautical. So when I joined the Marine Corps, initially I didn't have my citizenship. So when I obtained my citizenship and I was able to change my job, I was an air traffic controller. That is what I want to do. So I've always had the love for, anything science. I have my degree in science. I'm not an engineer, but I do have my degree in science. And to me, it was just an easy transition. And this is why I really wanted to come down and give back, because sometimes we see it maybe on TV, but we're not really there for cutting edge technology. And we do so much cool stuff in our lab, and I wanted to share that with the kids.
How are you going to present it to these little ones? Because here you are, presenting to children who are getting ready to head into adolescence, who are getting ready to head off maybe to secondary school. So they're at that place maybe where they're deciding. Yeah. But how you shape the message is going to be very important as well.
Well, my presentation is going to be very interactive. It's going to start off with just my introduction, like where I came from, just like them, and where I went. My time in the Marine Corps, I have one of my engineers actually did some 3D printing of giveaways. So every kid will walk away with a 3D printed toy from our lab. So there's a lot of Q&A. I have a video that we actually put together in our lab about STEM and what we do, and just different portions of the lab that we contribute. And then after that, we have a demonstration. So I brought I brought a HoloLens. So the video is based off the USS Midway, which is a museum ship in San Diego. So I actually have a 3D representation of mixed reality of the ship that they can actually see. So I brought down a little bit of our technology. I would love to have brought down my 100-pound quadruped dog, but that would be a little bit too much for customs. But I wanted them to see the technology and them able to play with it and manipulate it as much as they want. So that way it's a learning. And I also have a Jeopardy in store for them for more prizes, because I want them to make sure that they're paying attention to what I'm saying. And then obviously everybody loves to win a prize.
Absolutely. We've been hearing a whole lot more about STEM of late. What would you say from where you sit, based on your experience, having been through the Marine Corps, now retired? I'm still coming to grips with that. Now retired and, manning your own ship, so to speak. What would you say involvement in STEM has done for you and can do for children at this young age?
Well, for me, it opened a lot of doors. For them, I think it's very important to make sure that they get started early. And that's why I wanted to target the 11-year-olds, because I want to start that conversation. I want them to go and talk to their teachers, talk to their parents, possibly find a camp or something to get that interest going and just start growing it. Because technology is always changing. We always need people in the field of science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And if we're not getting the adolescents, we are missing our mark.
Absolutely. I know for us in this part of the world, when we think about technology, a lot of the times it ends when we think of computers. But with your perspective, I know that you can share with us a lot more on how technology impacts the world that we exist in.
Yeah, so because I work for the Department of Defense, we are still we're competing, but we're also working alongside industry. So we are always looking for just different ways to make this world better. Our lab has patents, like hundreds of patents alone, that are being utilized. Some were even utilized during COVID because, as some of you guys may know, we were having problems with the lack of respirators. And our lab developed a splitter so that way you can use one respirator for every 2 people. So I think it's very important that if you have a good idea, you are able to nurture that idea and hopefully see it to fruition.
All right, and for those children who might be looking on and thinking, you know, I've always wanted to do something like this, but it feels a little out of grasp. What direction would you give them for the direction they need to take to be able to maybe move into defense, engineering, STEM generally?
I think that the most important thing is making sure that you pay attention to your studies, because it starts now. And some people might say, oh, I don't like school, but if you don't get your foundation, you're going to miss out. So making sure that, I don't think anything is out of reach. I think that you're only limited by your mind on where you can, where it can take you. So pay attention in school, you know, pay attention in your math class, in your English class, your science classes, hopefully go to college. And then there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of companies that sponsor. I know that, you know, compared to the United States, we graduate at 16 here. And you can graduate college by 20 and start a career. So there's just plenty of opportunities. You just have to research them and pursue them.
Now, a little birdie told me you were on Morning Barbados some 20 years ago. Tell me about that experience.
20 years ago.
I'm not sure if I was out of school then.
Yes, 20 years ago, I was here basically talking about my beginning career in the Marine Corps. And now, you know, 20 years later, I'm already done with the Marine Corps. I have started a new career, and hopefully in the next 10 years, I will be done, retired, traveling the world.
Beautiful stuff. Now, I want you to kind of juxtapose that interview as compared to now, where you were then, as a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, young girl of Caribbean descent, moving into, you know, this space, as compared to having experienced it and where you are today?
I would say that if I had the vision into the future and I knew where life was going to take me, I would have held on harder, because it's been a ride, but I mean, that's what shapes us. You know, this is what makes us us. So it's definitely been an experience compared to, I'm just joining the Marine Corps and I don't really know where my focus at, compared to, oh, well, I can go down the list of all the things that I have accomplished in my time. So it's been great, because I mean, I went to 3 combat zones. 20-year-old me did not think that I was going to be going to combat, but here I was, you know, so it's been
Tell us more about that.
So, I mean, I've done a lot of cool things. I was in Afghanistan. I was actually in Afghanistan when Prince Harry was there. I saw him quite often because he was a pilot, air traffic controller. I was embedded with the Brits, so I saw him quite often. Unfortunately, that was the time that the base got attacked and we lost quite a few lives. But I also saw a lot of heroics throughout that. I was in Iraq for a year, working with just all Navy, Air Force, just foreign services. I was also in Kuwait helping out the Kuwaitis. I worked in conjunction with them. So I've definitely done a lot of things and seen a lot of people, worked with a lot of joint services to make sure that we can, we all have one goal, which is to make sure that we are defending our nation and essentially the world from adversaries. So that's what I was doing. So it was really cool.
From an insider's perspective, what's it like for you on a day-to-day basis? You talked about your experience where there was an attack when Prince Harry was in Afghanistan. What's going through your mind? What are you feeling when you are in that space? Here in Barbados, for example, I mean, to just compare the two is like, as we would say, chalk and cheese.
So it can be, your mind can be in a fog to some extent, because when it happened, it was at night. It was low visibility. So there was just a lot of confusion because everybody's wearing uniforms and there's plenty of countries over there. We're all wearing different uniforms. We're all here for the same reason. But there's people that had infiltrated the base that was wearing our uniforms too, and we don't know who's friend or foe. So it can be a very terrifying, but at the same time, you train for this. So eventually your training goes into action and everything becomes automatic. The new day happened and then we regroup and we did a show of force. And unfortunately that night, one of the commanding officers of one of the jets that were stationed there, one of the squadrons, was killed, and the executive officer in that case becomes the commanding officer, came over, hey, we need to do a show of force. This is what we need. I am here to support, and we made sure that happened because you may get us once, but you're not going to get us a second time. So.
Okay. All right. Sounds like such an exciting career you've had. And now moving into this area with technology at its core, I can see the excitement in you.
Yes.
I am even more intrigued to hear what the Bajan family were thinking when they heard, first of all, that you were going into
I was
the service.
I was going into the Marine Corps, and each time I would come down, they were like, oh, this is Tula, she's in the Army. I'm like, I'm not in the Army, I'm in the Marine Corps. There's a big distinction between the services, and we pride ourselves, like Air Force, they're airmen. Army, they're soldiers. Marines are Marines. We have the best uniform. We are the most trained. So whenever they said, oh, you're going in the Army, I'm like, I am not going into the Army.
Yeah, but obviously a proud moment for them. All right, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing with us. I hope that you're getting in some R&R as well.
Yes, so I actually came down here with my friend. She said, wait, you're going home? I want to come home with you. Let's go. So she's an art teacher. So on Thursday, she's going to People's Cathedral, and we're doing an art class for the kids. But today, no plans. We're going to the beach and hang out. That is my favorite place. I will be at Dover Beach, just relaxing and soaking up sunshine.
Everybody will be shouting, hey, Tula, I saw you on Morning Barbados. All right, you have a wonderful time. It's great to hear from you. And don't wait another 20 years to come back to Morning Barbados.
I will come down here and be banging on your door each and every time. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right, Tula. She's Unmanned Systems Lead, Restore Lab, and living and working in the U.S. Well, no, she says she's retired. I can't add it up. And she's a Saggy girl just like me. Well,
yes.
December 5th. I'm December 8th.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. It's time for another break. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, 7:03, and time for an update of the news. Fisherfolk based at Concert Bay St. John will soon see the promised $4.3 million facility and other upgrades materialize. Blue Economy Minister Adrian Ford gave the assurance, noting the money has been allocated in this year's budget.
The $4.3 million is already earmarked, is already budgeted for in this financial year to do the Fisherman's Community Center. PS, if I'm wrong, correct me. I see that's the term we use. Fisherman's Community Center. I want to be very specific today. Fisherman's Community Center. $4.3 million for that and the boatyard so that the fisher folk will be able to repair and do the necessary work on their fishing vessels when they are hauled out.
Minister Ford's comments came at the launch for the Barbados Fisherfolk Festival, which is slated to come off next month. And Chief Fisheries Officer Dr. Shelley Ann Cox has been providing details for the new event, which will celebrate several aspects of the fishing industry.
This year, we're pleased to announce that we have a full month of activities in June to celebrate the hard work of our fisherfolk and to show appreciation for their contribution to food security. The 80th anniversary celebrations of the Fisheries Division also continue in June with sporting events and an awards ceremony. We have branded this exciting month of events the Barbados Fisherfolk Festival, and need I say the newest and hopefully most exciting festival in Barbados.
Standard Distribution and Sales Limited has launched its loyalty rewards program for select clients with a commitment to making their shopping experience rewarding. General Manager Renata Mohammed says the new initiative will bring immense value to the customers making substantial purchases.
We have always strived to provide the highest quality products and exceptional service. Today, we take that commitment a step further with a program designed specifically for the talented interior decorators and designers and the innovative property managers and developers who are integral to our industry. Our standard loyalty rewards program is our way of tangibly saying thank you for your loyalty and for your partnership.
Now, the list of benefits which these customers can unlock are numerous, including personalized support, tailored assistance, customized product sourcing, and procurement services, among other things. Barbados created history over the weekend, taking 3 of the top 5 prizes, when the 2024 laureate winners of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards for Caribbean Excellence were announced at the Hilton Barbados Hotel. The three locals being recognized as exceptional Caribbean leaders were pediatrics neurologist Dr. Morris Scantlebury, a science and technology laureate, musician and composer Dr. Stefan Walcott, an arts and letters laureate and disabilities rights advocate, the Most Honorable Carrie-Ann Eiffel, Public Civic Contributions Laureate. The other awardees were Jamaican call center businessman Johan Epstein, Entrepreneur Laureate, and Trinidadian marine biologist Dr. Diva Amon, a Science and Technology Laureate. They were celebrated by an audience of former laureates, officials from the Ansa McCall Group, Ansa McCall Foundation, and other distinguished guests, including President of Barbados, Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, and Senior Minister Dr. the Honorable William Duguid. There was also a musical presentation by awardee Dr. Stefan Walcott and his band. The three Bajan awardees were upbeat about their recognition.
I'd like to thank the foundation so much and thank all the local committee for recognizing my sacrifice and my love, and I hope to continue in the future. Thank you.
I don't do what I do for accolades. I do what I do because I believe that persons like me have their rightful place in society. I believe that a disability does not have to limit your horizons.
I did it, and I'm very happy. And I know my father, and I hope I don't cry right now because you know I'm a crier. My father is up in heaven right now with ambrosia in hand, and he's saying, in the words of one of the world's greatest poets, Mike Tyson, my boy did it. I definitely dedicate this award to him.
Chairman of the Ansa McCall Foundation, Andrew N. Sagba, commended the Barbadians for their exhibition of excellence in their respective fields.
It is fairly obvious why we have chosen to come to Barbados and the Barbados Hilton as a venue for our ceremony this year. You see, for the very first time in our program's history, we have three laureates from a single territory. Three laureates who were either born in Barbados or have significant ties to the country. I'm going to invite you again because I think that deserves a hearty round of applause.
Some 23 cadet companies across the island now have a new group of cadets in their companies as the 2023 intake held their passing out parade over the weekend. The recruits are drawn from 22 secondary schools and one independent company. Speaking on the sidelines, Commander David Dowridge, Commandant of the Barbados Cadet Corps, noted the success of their recruitment.
A group of 350 cadets today, we managed to parade 300 from all the schools and the special units within the Barbados Cadet Corps. Having completed a year of training, they are now arguably the newest cadets in the world, and we're very proud that they could have reached this stage.
The Commandant says the youngsters performed well at the parade, and CBC spoke with some of them who were in winner's row. Combermere's 12-year-old Chelsea Watt says it wasn't easy, but she stayed the course.
I was going to every training at school, and I was practicing at home. I was just practicing. During the vacation, I was going camp. The sun was really hot, but I sacrificed my time being at home to be at cadets, practicing for this day, for the passport parade.
Congratulations to the new cadets. Central Bank Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge is urging staff to continue striving for excellence in personal development. He offered the advice last evening at the bank's 2024 Staff Awards Gala and dinner at the Wyndham Grand Sam Lord's Castle. It was held under the theme Elevate, Empower, Excel, Internalizing Excellence. There, staff received awards for 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 40, and 45 years of service.
Over the past year, through grandfathering, through streaming, and through regular promotions, we have advanced more than 50 members of the bank staff. It is also important for you to do your part as staff and find ways to elevate yourself. Indeed, the personal development plans that you've designed with your managers are intended to be a guide for you on this path.
And Dr. Greenidge also encouraged staff to strive for world-class excellence.
World-class excellence is about being early to work. I'm a very practical person. Being on time with our deliveries, respecting each other, treating each other fairly, practicing humility, accurate with our output, demonstrating ability and agility, giving your all to each task, and showing up to events such as this.
In sports, some bad news. West Indies all-rounder Jason Holder has been ruled out of the upcoming T20 World Cup. He's been replaced by left-arm pacer Obed McCoy. Holder picked up an injury during the English County Championship, where he was representing Worcestershire. The media release, which has been issued by Cricket West Indies, has specified Holder's injury or how much recovery time he will recover. McCoy was the top wicket taker for West Indies A team on their tour of Nepal in April through May, when he bagged 8 wickets in 5 games at an average of 18. CWI also named 5 reserve players in Kyle Mayers, Matthew Ford, Fabian Allen, Hayden Walsh, and Andre Fletcher. The official 15 includes Rovman Powell, captain, Alzari Joseph, Johnson Charles, Roston Chase, Shimwan Hetmeyer, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Nicholas Puram, Sher Hope, Andre Russell, Romario Shepard McCoy, Akil Hossain, Gudakesh Moti, and Sherfane Rutherford. West Indies are in Group C, along with Papua New Guinea, Uganda, New Zealand, and Afghanistan. Meanwhile, West Indies made a clean sweep of their T20 series over South Africa, winning the third and final match at Sabina Park in Jamaica last evening by 8 wickets. South Africa scored 163 for 7, with skipper Rassie van der Dussen leading the way with 51. Obed McCoy took 3 for 39. In reply, the Windies rode on 69 from Johnson Charles, 44 from skipper Brandon King, and an unbeaten 36 from Kyle Mayers as they reached 165 for 2 off 13.5 overs. And that's your update of news. We'll have more news coming your way at 12 noon for Newsday, and then at 1 o'clock on our sister stations for The World at 1. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey.
And then you say, okay, let me write something. Do you prefer to have the rhythm first and then you write to that, or do you write songs and then try to pair it? How does that go?
More than likely, you know, you hear a rhythm, you know, and then you just start the vibe. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
always do it. I hear something, and they say, "Wow, that sounds good," and they start the vibe.
All right, good stuff. Now, Malcolm, you have been doing this for donkey years.
Why you clear your throat?
Listen, because
Yeah.
we are not going to follow, but I know you're going to half choke me after. You were on radio when I was in school.
Because I left school early to go into radio.
Oh,
Right.
and I mean, look at you.
Yeah.
You know, you're not aging a single day. What's going
It's
on
on
here?
our genes. It's on our genes, and
These jeans
yeah,
here, these blue jeans.
It's in our my family, man. It's in our genes. Always have a good mindset, pure mindset. You know what I'm saying? Don't walk with baggage.
All right, good stuff. But your foray into music is nothing new. I said that to
No.
say you've been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah.
You've also explored being an artist yourself.
Yes. You know, because also being a DJ and knowing beats and seeing a crowd rock, you have an instant idea what is going to gravitate to a crowd. You can actually depict what's going to be a hit. People say, no, you can't tell what's going to be a hit. But sometimes you can. You just know, you know? So from being from the DJ, knowing the beats and whatever, and you know, following shows, going to all these shows. And
What's it been like working along with Blacks as a new artist, getting him out there as a manager and kind of holding it down as a producer as well?
It's okay. It's not too bad at the beginning. There's a lot of tweaking going on because it's first for him. And I'm a stickler for perfection. I'm a perfectionist, so we just be going at it, but in a good way. And then, you know, he listens. That's most important. Yeah, he listens and he want to get it done. He left everything up to. He said, "Yo, I said, once it's finished written, you have whatever. Just let's see it, and we go from there."
From your perspective, Blacks, you know, what's it like working with somebody who's been in the industry for such a long time?
Well, this is somebody, but you mean Malcolm?
Yeah.
It's cool, man. You know, he really look after me. I must say that. You know, he take his time and he listens to my, you know, material on a different level. Yeah. So.
Talk to me about this particular track that you're bringing for Crop Over this year, and I know there are going to be subsequent releases, but let's talk about this one. Hold Ya.
I don't know. I was just sitting down one morning and I just hear the rain come down and I just started from there.
So the rain started the whole
Yeah, the rain
thing.
started to fall and it was like, all right, let me go.
The song ain't even about rain though, Black.
I know that.
Right?
You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I just had an epiphany. Tisha, hold it down.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these other releases that you're expecting to come through with for the season.
There's another one pending. Is She Walked For Me. So that's the next one. That should be out this week. Finished final touch
So you
with the
saw
master.
somebody passing, going to work, and the song came to you, She Walked For Me. Don't answer that. Continue.
Yeah, because it's a project we're actually working on, so we're hoping to finish it with 4 tracks.
All right, that's excellent. And what are you hoping for this season for Blacks? I know there are a lot of events. I think well over 100 events on the calendar. Yeah.
I'm hoping to get him on some of them, if not most. But my mission is basically to have him a household name. When we're finished, you have to know who Blacks is. When we're finished, Blacks Barbados, you have to know who.
Good stuff. What are you working toward, Blacks? You know, what are your hopes in getting into soca music?
Well, I'm just hoping to, you know, not only mingle with everybody else, but able to share my music on a level where everybody will understand and, you know what I mean, believe in my story, you know what I mean? Not just let somebody say, oh, support Blacks. You know what I mean? You hear my music and, you know what I mean, love it and just, yeah, put up your hand and sing along, you know what I mean? Not because it's Blacks, but because you hear the music and you hear good music. You know what I mean?
I love that. It's good music indeed.
Thank
it
you so
sounds
much.
good. And most certainly no one would think this is an artist who's
Right,
just
we
been
got that
doing
when
for
it
a
came out.
year.
That's Blacks from last year. From the money on, that's Black. Yeah, so you hear him. He's matured. You know, he's gotten better. We did some investing in him, man. You know, took him to vocal training and stuff.
All right, and Malcolm with this vampire injections that's going on here.
You know what I'm saying? They're costly.
Aging not 1 minute.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to see you. Last time we talked, you were interviewing me.
I know, right? That's how it is. But that's how life is.
Of course, you can find Malcolm
Always
on
a pleasure
The
to work with
Beat, 104.1 FM. Still doing music. producing, working with artists, so a full slate for him. And congrats, Blacks,
Thank you
for
very
coming
much.
back for a second year.
And thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and lifting
The bar.
lifting your profile, lifting the bar. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
All
I
right,
really
so look out for
appreciate
Blacks, and we certainly want to hear about that second track
Yeah.
that you have coming. All right, feeling the festival
please.
here at CBC as we continue to get you ready for the festival. Stay with us. We have more coming up.
I wanna hold you, wanna squeeze you, gonna love and kiss and caress you. Whoa, baby, she whining insane, and I wanna hold her, not come pretend. Bajan girl, you got the rhythm, brace and wine, repeat the anthem. Enough girl complaining, them can't slow wine, them man not racing.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back to Morning Barbados. The time is swiftly going, but listen, my phone is disappearing. You know, like in the corners of the chair, when you clean out the corners of your chair in the house, are you wondering, like, where did all these things come from? I mean, even if you do it on a regular basis, I go probably have to look. I'm like, where did all these things come from? You know, they're kind of falling, and there's 28 minutes after 7 o'clock. So it's quickly going by. One of the things that we really have been focusing on and talking a lot about, not only in the public domain, and we've been hearing a lot about it on the call-in programs and so on, but through Parados, is about parenting. And they've been embarking on a series of workshops. We've heard about them moving around the island and sharing with parents on, you know, how they can parent better. Better might not be the right word because, you know, parenting is a very subjective thing, can be, but there's some core principles that can help us to get us there. And there meaning getting the children out on the other end safely and happily, and same for the parents. So we have Terry Bess Thompson, who is with us this morning, along with Kimberly Beckles. They're both counseling psychologists. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. And you're working along with Parados. I know there's a 5-week parenting program that's coming up. But before we get there, why is it important, to your mind, Terry, for us to upgrade our skills or even seek out some assistance on parenting?
Parenting is so dynamic and it changes with each child. You can have 2 children in the womb at the same time, and as you parent them, you identify differences with them. And as our generation ages, as we evolve as individuals, the challenges changes. We are now not only parenting individually, we are parenting collectively. So technology is helping us parent. Social media is helping us parent. So the challenges that some parents had in 20, 30 years ago will differ from the challenges that they will have now. So we have to constantly be researching and implementing new strategies to ensure that the parenting is effective.
Now, we've always heard people say you're never given kind of like a parenting guide or a guidebook when they give you the little ones to go on home as to how you can get it done. So to your mind, how do we get people in a space in their heads where they feel like, okay, I can benefit from parenting classes?
I would definitely say, in terms of parenting, there is no one-size-fits-all approach. I definitely think, as Terry said, it is important that, one, we get to know our children, and two, we develop the skills needed to meet the needs of our children. Here at Barbados, we encourage parents to get to know your children, understand your children, being able to empathize with your children, being able to communicate effectively, so that you, in turn, are able to parent your child effectively.
Terry, what are some of the key areas, if you had to say the top areas that parents need to kind of focus in on across the board? Because we know that in addition to there being differences from child to child, there are also differences in the child as they grow.
Yeah. So some of the key areas would be knowing self and pouring into self. The only way you can parent effectively is if you have an idea of what you want from your children, what type of individual you're trying to mold. So you have to know yourself, you have to know your values. You have to do a lot of self-reflection and self-care, because if you're going to be pouring out, you need to pour in. So that's one. You have to be able to communicate effectively. When they're babies, we are listening, we're attentive. It takes all of our effort because we have to try to understand what they're saying. But we need to you have that same attitude during teenage when they're more vocal. So communication is so important. So knowing yourself, having your values and teaching them those values by practicing them, and then being able to communicate effectively. And finally, knowing how to show love to those, because some persons' love language are different. So as a parent, if your love language is not touch, but your child's is, there have to be a compromise.
Yeah, of course. I think one of the most important things is going to be teaching people how to strike that balance between nurturing the children and disciplining the children, sometimes simultaneously, because I find that can be our challenge here in this part of the world, where, you know, parents talk at the children a lot, and they feel like they are, you know, I'm sharing some valuable information here, but it's going over the head. I've experienced that myself. So about striking that balance, I think, is very, very important. So you have some classes that are coming up through Barbados that you're offering. Is absolutely free. You're getting some expert advice. Talk to us more about that.
Barbados has a parenting workshop coming up in cooperation with the National Peace Program, Parent Ways. So we are going out into the community next month in June. We'll be starting with St. George. We are going to be at the Glebe Community Center, where we'll be touching topics such as discipline, learning to love your child at their respective developmental stages. We'll be looking at self-care and much more. We have a lot in store for our parents. In order for you guys to get more information, you can contact us at the office at 427-0212, or you can follow us on social media on Instagram at Barbados Barbados, or on our website, barbados.org.
And I know you made a concerted effort to be able to hold this in the evening, so even parents who are working can still participate.
And we're providing daycare as well, so that if they have to bring their children, there are persons there who can help keep them. So the Barbados aunties will be facilitating in that, so they would have their early childhood education, so your children would not be at risk.
Now, what are some of the new areas of concern that we're seeing with children? I know you talked a lot about dual parenting, I think you called it, and having you know, technology so embedded in our society and what we do these days, to be able to kind of counter that. What are some of the challenges that we're seeing presented, whether it's because of technology or otherwise?
Well, some of the challenges that we are seeing, we have a lot of teenagers who are self-harming. Teenagers do not always feel like they have the resources necessary to help them through their challenges. And when they have parents who are strict or unbending, unwavering, they don't always feel like they can go to them. So that has been one of the newer concerns. I can't link it to technology per se, but I can definitely link it to their emotional well-being. And parents don't always identify that children can suffer from depression, because why you upset, why you sad, you got a house and a roof and clothes and you ain't paying bills. So they don't always feel like they have a voice. So that's one of the newer challenges. So helping parents to identify the importance of being present in their children's life, and that being their children's best present is so important. So that is one. And with technology, parents are really concerned about addiction. We are having that question a lot. Is my child addicted to technology and anime and all the electronics? So that is a concern.
Well, are they?
Some are, not all.
Asking for a friend.
Another issue we may find as well is that we find parents are concerned that their values aren't necessarily their children's values due to the influence of social media. So trying to or being able to monitor the child's use on the different social media platforms and what they're being exposed to as well.
For example?
For example, some parents are concerned with the popular show Peppa Pig. There is the belief that some of the values of Peppa Pig aren't necessarily the right values for a child. So as for parents, I think it's really important that we screen what it is that our children are watching. Sit down next to them if you can and watch what they are watching, and monitoring and seeing if perhaps that is something that you want your child to get involved into.
Well, let me tell you, because when you said Peppa Pig, I'm thinking, listen, Peppa Pig, it's for little kids.
Yeah.
And that's up to you to determine what this little child is watching.
Should be exposed to.
You know, but that's okay for me to stand here on the sidelines and kind of cast judgment. You know, I know it can be difficult sometimes to navigate the parent space. But for a lot of parents, and this is speaking from personal experience as well, I find sometimes that what we intend to say is not necessarily how it is taken, how it's interpreted by the children. So about stuff like that, communication, I would imagine, you know, that's top of the table for you in terms of how you're going to try to help parents navigate that.
Most certainly, because parents are tired, they're frustrated, and they have expectations of their children. So when their children do not meet those expectations, the frustration is definitely there. So when you are frustrated or overwhelmed, and you think you're hiding it, you really ain't. Your child is going to pick up on that. And it's going to be in your tone, it's going to be in your body language. So that's why self-care is so important, and knowing what your triggers are. So you can take time to go and take a moment and calm down. We are going to do some deep breathing and calming exercises in these programs as well. So you find techniques that can help you be calm when you speak to your children. And we want you to use things like I statements, like I feel this way because. Because when we say you, it casts this blame. And they are going through as much as we are in their own little world. They're in a competitive environment. And if they're not academically inclined, it's even more difficult for them. If they're not athletic during athletic season, it is difficult for them. So they have their own competitive world and their own challenges. And we don't always remember that they are going through a lot of the same emotions that we are.
But seemingly not dealing with it in the way that my generation and other generations did. Do we know, is there research to show why, you know, so many younger people seemingly can't handle the way we did maybe, or is it that they're just dealing with it differently? You started by saying a lot more young people are self-harming. Is it now that we're calling it by name, or is this something that's been happening for a long time? I don't get it.
I am not sure what the statistics will say about the self-harming aspect, but what I will say about the developmental stages is that they need to be researched because the challenges are changing. So things that children would do at 15, they're now doing at 10. Things that children did at 6, they're doing at 2. I'm not sure if it's what we're eating, I'm not sure what contributes to it, but the children are coming out of the womb intelligent, and then they have all these resources of information that we didn't necessarily have years ago. So they are more aware, and parents are not always as aware as the children. And then children have the world of energy, and parents don't. So there are a lot of combating factors against the parents, and that's why they have to actively work on finding these strategies to be effective and efficient in their parenting. And the good thing about it is if you start to teach the child your values from young, and you don't just tell them, but you practice these values, it helps them to absorb them. Let's go back to the Peppa Pig. I love Peppa Pig because Peppa Pig has an opportunity to teach my child, not to behave like that. She's being naughty. So
yeah, because my director's in the back saying Peppa Pig is rude.
Yeah, so you get to say Peppa Pig is rude. That's not how you're supposed to behave. Behave like Susie Pig. And I was telling them the other day, Peppa Pig mother hardly ever loses her cool. Have you ever seen it? She hardly ever loses her cool. She is able to manage her children, her husband, and her family. So again, it is when you are sharing information, looking for the good. The same way we're looking for the good in our children, look for the good in every experience. So we teach them that. And then we work on the not so good. No, that's not the best. Let's try to do it this way. And provide alternatives, because then they can make informed decisions. So when we're young, we look left, right, left before we cross the street, because that's what you told us.
Yeah, they
because
told
the
us up and down.
consequence, well, up and down, left and right, but the consequence is if you don't, you'll get laid down.
Yeah.
So if children know what are the consequences of their action, they are able to make informed decisions, and then you know if you have a child who is following your values or a rebel that you got to actually work with.
Yeah, well, I actually like children who, you know, are not rude, because a lot of us don't know how to manage children who are, I'd say, who are bold, who are forward, who are talkative. And I was one of those children who would ask a question. And for a lot of people, they can see that as rude. It can really be misconstrued, particularly if you don't know how to manage it. But for other generations, some will argue that there were very violent cartoons and stuff like that. I mean, He-Man, She-Ra, somebody saying Elmer Fudd.
I won't know those.
You know, through the years. Yeah, I recognize that you wouldn't know those, but yeah, she said she doesn't know about them. So, I mean, you know, there was a lot of violence, and I'm not sure that this necessarily translated to us watching television and saying, I want to do that.
We wanted to be heroes.
What's the difference?
We wanted to be the heroes in those. You had Captain Planet, so that should help.
Captain Planet?
No,
not
she
even
didn't.
then? So, oh my goodness.
Okay, let's not go there.
Keep it in a generation or two.
Let's not do it. I don't know. Again, it goes back to the family values and what they're socialized at home. And a lot of our parents, we had stay-at-home moms, or we had someone in the environment, a grandmother. The village was a little more effective. The neighbors would say, don't left that house, I can tell on you.
Extended
So
family.
the reality is the resources were more. And as we have strayed away from that, it's a little difficult to manage, because if I'm a single parent and I don't know my neighbors and my child does not follow my rules and regulations, it's difficult to police. If I am not accessible to the school and they have concerns, it's difficult to police. So we have to identify the resources afforded to us, and then we have to use those resources.
I think part of the challenge today is that we are allowing technology to parent our children. Like Terry alluded to earlier, it is really important as parents that you are present, that you are actively involved in your child's life, that you know what is going on, having conversations about your day-to-day activities, what's going on at school, who are your friends. And when you are present, you are able to have a better influence on what is going on in your child's life.
All right, good stuff. And, you know, it's a full-time job.
It is.
It's a full-time job.
With
It's a
no
full-time
breaks.
job. It's a full-time job with your full-time job.
Yeah.
So particularly, you know, my heart goes out to parents who have a few little ones, because I know that can be quite difficult. But the cavalry is here in the form of Barbados. They're doing some parenting workshops from 5:30 to 7 on Wednesdays at the Glebe Resource Center.
Yes.
That's coming up when? Which
It's starting next Wednesday.
so
for
from
5
next
weeks.
Wednesday for
Yes,
5
please.
weeks, and it's absolutely free.
Absolutely
And you
free.
can bring the babies, you can bring the little ones, because the aunties from the Barbados Daycare Center are going to be there to make sure that they take care of the children, so you can focus squarely on taking in this knowledge and experience. I want to thank you so much, Terry. Thank you, Kimberly, for sharing with us. And thanks, of course, to the good folk at Barbados, especially you, Cicely, for you know, sharing with us and heading out into the community in association with the National Peace Program. That's excellent. So make sure you take advantage of that. Even if you're not from St. George, you can still come out and be a part of it. And the hours are good as well. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you as
for
well.
having us.
All right, when I start thinking about parenting, sometimes I have to pause for parenting. That's the name of the Barbados program. I'm just being bad. Pay me no attention. All right, time for a break, but we have a lot more coming up, so come on back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000.
Time now for us to delve into the pages of a few books. We have to say good morning and welcome to Joel Frederick, who's an author, poet, and he's joining us from Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning.
Good to have you with us. Tell me a little bit about how you got into writing poetry and how you've got into a place now where you have 5 published books.
Ooh, I have to go. Well, I have to thank my deceased stepfather, Clifford Lizama. He sowed that seed in me because he used to write poetry when he was younger, and I kind of pick up the mantle after him. I didn't start off writing books. I was just writing poetry. And then one day my wife said, well, you only writing. Why don't you write a book? And then during the pandemic, during 2020, started with my first published work. And then thereafter, 4 books came. And then the 5th one, and so on and so on. So it has been a journey.
That's excellent. When you decided, or when your wife decided for you, that you were going to write this first book, how many poems would you say that you had in your collection?
A couple hundred, I believe, a couple hundred, because I've been writing continuously for years prior to my first book. It was a kind of way for me to kind of, what do you call it, therapy, because men don't normally have that way that platform to talk about our emotions. So I was just writing, trying to deal with my own challenges.
And then going through those hundreds of poems, Joel, how difficult was it to determine which poems you were going to put into that first book, considering this was therapeutic for you in terms of writing? Because then, here you are sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your life with the world.
Yeah. It was a little bit difficult at first, but I wanted my first book to reflect all my genres, what I normally write, because I basically write love poems, but I also put on social commentary and a little bit of political commentary as well. So I wanted my first book to be like a reflection of the highest emotions of love to the lowest emotions of love and all the other emotions in between.
So let's talk about the books. There is Caffeinated Whispers, a collection of a rainbow of poems that touches on different subjects of life. Tell us about that one.
Well, yes, that was my first book. I wanted the work itself to actually reflect what the title was. Are you seeing the image here right now? When somebody drinks caffeine, it kind of stimulates their mind. And I wanted my work to kind of stimulate the readers softly and gently while at the same time having that very loud voice where it will be undeniable.
The next book is called Butterfly on a Purple Moon.
Yes, I wrote that book also in 2020, a couple months after this book. What happened was I was in a kind of very, how you call it, inspirational and creative zone. So this particular book, based on the lifestyle or lifetime of a butterfly, and I related that to the lifetime of humans as well, because we go through different processes as we age.
Now, the next book is right up your alley. You said that you love to write love poems. If love was a word, so you kind of took that all in for the third installment.
Yes, love was a word. It is divided into two distinct parts: the good side of love and the not so good side of love. It's more catered to a more mature audience. It rightfully is it has some provocative themes, not to an adult team, but you have to decipher exactly what it is I'm saying. But it's more geared towards an adult team. A very interesting read.
And based on the title of the fourth book, it seems as though you continued on that path because this one is 70% Guilty Decadence.
Yes, this particular book, I realized with the advent of social media, readers don't want to go through a long poetry. So I decided to just make some very short quotes and short pieces where, of course, it's centered around that that piece of love and inspiration. But I wanted the reader not to get bored by reading all long pieces. So I made some very short poetry and quotes, so it will make them interesting, so it will make them even want more.
And talk to us about the fifth and final book.
Oh, yes. So this is a labor of love, the divergent languages of absolution. It's a personal book. In that, in years prior to writing this book, I went through some personal hard talking stuff. And I did not want to go through the year 2023 with the same feelings that I had prior to writing this book. So I wrote this book like in the last week of December 2022. It was like just releasing all the burdens and everything that was on my shoulder and on my heart and on my mind. It didn't start off as a book per se. I was just writing down the poetry as a sort of therapy for me. And then I said, okay, this is turning into something. So I should make it into a book. So as it's helping me, it might be able to help others as well along their journey who are going through their challenges of forgiveness and reaching that place of forgiveness as well. So hence the divergent languages of absolution.
Now, it seems you were just waiting for your wife to give you the go ahead because you're set to publish two other books, a memoir and maybe another book of poetry for 2024. Is that so? How is that going?
It has been going good. The other book of poetry, aptly titled "The Pieces of Me You Have Never Seen." I wrote that book a couple years ago, along with some other books that I've had that are not published as yet. And I decided, as I'm going to publish this book about forgiveness, after forgiveness, you will want to heal as well. So the other book, the pieces of me I've never seen, is touching around that area of healing as well. So after you forgive, you might want to reach that level of healing and understanding as well. And then the memoir, aptly entitled "The Excerpts from Agostini," is a book that I had in my mind for some years now. I'm still in the creating phase of it. I'm nearly finished because when I think I'm finished, I remember something from my childhood and I have to write it down again. So it's from 4 years old to around roughly 18 years old. So it touches along my childhood and the challenges that I had growing up, along with my very conflicted and interesting neighborhood.
All right, interesting stuff. Now, I know that you said in the past that you're on a journey to try to get men to be more expressive with their emotions, and you said initially that writing was that outlet for you. So, how do you propose to do this?
I have been on this journey for quite a while, but it is a little bit difficult in getting men to open up because we have been taught from a very young age to keep our emotions inside. What you're crying for, here's something to cry, hold your emotions inside. It doesn't take away from us to express our emotions, right? So it's still a difficult journey in getting men to reach that state of vulnerability where they will open up and show the world, or show their partners and show their families and friends who they really are. Yeah. So they will not be ridiculed and criticized.
All right, remind
It's
us where
healthy. It's healthy.
it absolutely is. Remind us where we can find all your books.
All my books now are available at Amazon.com. Locally in Trinidad, Caffeinated Whispers is available at RIK bookstores nationwide. And that same book and Butterfly on a Balloon, they are both available at Scribbles and Quills in Lounge Park Sugars.
All right, I want to wish you the very best, and I think you're on an amazing journey to encourage men to express their emotions a whole lot more. I'm happy that you were able to find this outlet through the connection with your late stepfather as well. Thank you so much for sharing on the next chapter. We most certainly look forward to enjoying and learning through your works.
Well, thank you for having me on your platform. Thank you again. Good morning, Barbados. Thank you.
All right. Only thing we'll say was saying good morning from Trinidad, but that's excellent. We know that you're joining us from there. It's time for a break. When we come back, we wrap today's show. Stay with me.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink.
Morning, morning, good morning to you.
All right, so we certainly hope you enjoyed today's program. We will be back with you tomorrow with conversations on CARICOM. The ambassador is going to be joining us from down the Caribbean as he continues his work. He is also going to be presenting his papers in another island. That's right, he's now going to be responsible for St. Lucia. So we'll hear a little bit more about that. Plus, we are telling you all about CITUSAB and what they're up to. And we are going to be delving a little more into Feeling the Festival as we continue to tell you all about Crop Over 2024. That's all coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, but as you go about your day on this Monday, remember to be good to all the wonderful people in your life. Wear your smiles and come on back tomorrow. Do have a good one. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning.